Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the MLM Experiment Podcast. I'm Sandra Connor, the Lady Marketing Ninja. Thank you for helping me improve the MLM success rate by helping women develop the confidence needed to succeed in MLM. Today, we're going to talk about my story. Being confident to being a coward to being confident. I was always confident as a kid. I played sports, I used humor to make friends. Sports always came naturally to me. But since I love sports, I also worked very hard to improve and to try to be the best. Any spare time I had, I was in the yard shooting hoops or practicing softball. I had a rubber ball that my dog had chewed, so chunks of the ball were missing. I played infield I played shortstop, and then when I got in high school, I started playing second base, so infield. And I would take the ball and I would spend hours throwing it against the wall. We had a brick home, and I threw it against the chimney of the house. Now, since the ball had chunks missing, it was just a small little rubber ball, I guess about the size of a baseball. But since it had chunks missing, I never knew which way the ball was going to go. So it mimicked a game scenario. I practiced catching the ball and throwing it like I was throwing it to first base. I would pretend that this was the play that won the game. I did the same with basketball. I would shoot the ball and pretend it was the game-winning shot, always picturing myself as the hero. And a lot of the times, I was. You see, your mind is a powerful part of your life. Your mind will work to make your beliefs come true. If you believe you are getting older, fatter, and uglier, then that's what you're moving towards. If someone made fun of me, I used humor to make fun of myself and turn it around. I'm a small person, only 5'3" on a good day. And when I was in school, I was even shorter and maybe 105 pounds, soaking wet. So when I was in the 8th grade, my coach was trying to make a point. We were at practice, and she was talking about defense, and she pointed out to me, and she said, if a squatty little girl like Sandra comes around you, and she was telling us, what to do and how to defend it. Well, everyone started laughing, and, naturally it embarrassed me. And from that point on, they started calling me Squatty Girl. So you know what I did? I went and had a t-shirt printed with Squatty Girl on the back of it. I turned the slam into pride. Now, the coach didn't mean it as a slam, but, all the other, my classmates definitely made it a slam. So I owned it, and they stopped laughing at me. In high school, our softball coach would give some of the players nicknames. I was a freshman, and I had made the team. I didn't play infield, though. I was playing outfield that year because the infield was taken by, advanced players and more senior players than I was. So our team had what was called a secret pal. And on game day, you would bring your secret pal snacks, chips, gum, candy bar, something like that. Just some little treat to build camaraderie on the team. And the coach participated also, and the coach was my secret pal. Now, we went the entire year without telling who we had, and at the end, it was a big reveal, kind of like Secret Santa. You would tell at the very end. So the coach, had seen in the store cheese puffs that were dog food, but it looked just like cheese puffs. And she told the team that she was going to get that for me one day. Wouldn't it be funny if I got that for Sandra, and gave it to her for the secret pal? Well, she swore everybody to secrecy, and now you didn't challenge this coach, so everybody listened and obeyed. So no one would tell me what it was about, so everybody just kept making jokes about it, and every week I got cheese puffs in my bag, and they started calling me Cheese Puff. And since she had sworn everybody to secrecy, I didn't know what was going on. I kind of somewhat figured it out based on the context of their jokes, but it went on for weeks. And again, during games, they would call me Cheese Puff. And since it was kind of upsetting me a little bit because I was new to the team, it kind of hurt my feelings. I was young. I thought that some of my good friends would tell me, but they were so afraid of the coach and what she was going to do to them if I found out. So no one would relent and tell me, which again kind of hurt my feelings. So since it kind of bothered me, then it really stuck. So I became Cheese because it was just too much to yell Cheese Puff. So they started just calling me Cheese. Well, again, I owned it. By the time I graduated high school, even the principal called me Cheese. I made the softball team in college, and I went to college with a couple of the girls that I went to high school with, so the name followed me. To this day, there are people that I graduated college with that still only know me as Cheese. They don't even know my real name. Now, I had my first panic attack when I was in college. It was a mild one. I felt really dizzy and felt sick. It's the first time I'd ever experienced that. So, naturally called my parents. They came and got me, and they took me to the doctor. And I had every test in the book because they wanted to rule out a heart issue or a brain tumor or seizures or anything else that could possibly cause dizziness. So when all the tests came back and were completely normal, the doctor told me that it was just stress. And he kind of had horrible bedside manner. So when he diagnosed me as just having stress, it kind of made me feel like he was thinking I was faking it. So that upset me. And I didn't like that diagnosis because my family is just something about it. I don't know what, I don't know why or where it started, but you could have a physical ailment, but you could not have a mental ailment. That was just something that was basically just not accepted in our family, so I kept putting on a brave face and I acted like everything was okay. I stayed busy and I was so relieved that I was healthy that I didn't have additional dizzy spells until years later. So I had no idea what caused it. I just thought that it was just some crazy thing and I just moved on with my life and everything was fine. So before I get into telling you when the additional dizzy spells hit me, let me tell you more about my story. I graduated from college with a BS degree in communications, Bachelor of Science degree in communications, and I got a job in clerical for a large insurance company in the workers' comp division. I only worked a few weeks and a lady was retiring and she handled medical only claims, a claims adjuster. So I got promoted to the medical only adjuster after only working a few weeks. Then within a year, I was promoted to a lost time adjuster. I was well on my way. But something was missing. I love the money, but the working 9 to 5, sitting in a cubicle under fluorescent lights was just not for me. I knew that even when I first got the job and got the promotion as a medical only, I knew I didn't like, having a boss and being rigid, having to be inside all day, so looking outside. I'm an outdoors type of person, and I just did not like the 9 to 5 regiment. So even as a medical only adjuster, I knew that I didn't like it and it wasn't for me. But I did what you do. You're an adult. It's time to earn your money, time to pay your parents back for putting you through college, time to be a grown-up. So that's what I did. I continued to do the job even though I didn't like it. I kept thinking, if I get promoted, then it'll be better, and so I did. Got promoted to a lost time adjuster, and it did not solve my problems. It actually created more problems because now I was making more money, which made it harder to leave the job. So that's when I decided to be an entrepreneur. Now, my dad was always an entrepreneur. He ran a little convenience store till I was 11. Then he sold the store and he became a farmer. Then he had his own trucking company. He had dump trucks. So he always set his own hours. So he was always there, able to be at all of my sporting events. Whereas my mom worked for an insurance company, actually the same one I started with, but she was in underwriting and I was in claims. So we weren't in the same building, just the same company. So I saw her working the 9 to 5. and she was not able to attend very many games because softball games were right after school at 3 o'clock, and we played 2 games. So she was always able to make the second game, but not the first one. And my dad always stopped no matter what. He just told him, look, my daughter's playing. I got to stop. I'll see you tomorrow. Being an entrepreneur, you can do that. You can set your own hours. So I needed something that I could do on the side until I could match my salary. So I became a photographer. I thought action shots and sports. That's perfect. It's right up my alley. I love sports. I love photography. This is a match made in heaven. I made good money, actually landed the county contract for action shots and team pictures for all the sports for the county. It was good, but for the amount of work that I had to do and the return on my investment, it just wasn't worthwhile. I didn't see myself being able to replace my salary and being able to exit the 9-to-5, which was my goal. So then I tried wedding photography, but that just was not up my alley either. I didn't like all the pressure. I mean, this is the person's, the couple's magical day. You don't want to miss a shot. You want to get everything right. And, if you've missed it, you've missed it. Or if the picture turns out blurry, this was before digital cameras. So, film, you had to, maybe digital had just been invented. Tells my age a little bit. But anyway, it was a long time ago. So I didn't like the pressure of having to get the right shot. And I had trouble collecting my money. So I said, okay, that's not for me either. So then I tried rental property. Because, once you get it, you just put the tenants in it and you're done, right? Wrong. Well, I had every type of renter you could imagine. I had the renters that paid late or didn't pay, but they really took care of the place. I had people that paid on time, but did not take care of the place. Then I had the worst of all. I had people who did not pay and did not take care of the property. So again, I thought, this is too much trouble than it's worth. This is not for me. Then I had lunch with a friend who introduced me to network marketing. Finally, I knew I found my calling. It started out great, getting customers and building a team. Then my team started to turn to me to learn how to run their business. Since I didn't have a system and it was just dumb luck that I got anybody to join me, I didn't know what to tell them. So they quit. Then I didn't pay attention to my customers because I was so focused on trying to figure out the system that I lost my customers as well. So I was feeling like a failure again. And guess what this did to my confidence? Now, meanwhile, I'm still working for corporate America. Now, I've made several moves by this point because I stayed with the first company, I think 8 years, and then I realized they didn't really care about me like companies do. So I decided to make a change, and when I made a change, I got a huge raise. I mean, a massive raise. So I was thinking, okay, I've been with this company for 8 years, getting anywhere from 2 to 4% raises every year, or I can change companies every couple years and get 10 to 15%. So that's exactly what I did. Because again, this was not for me. I didn't want to do it for life. I was just going after the most money possible, which again was making my exit of corporate America even harder. But by this time, I'd worked my way up to being a supervisor. Now, the manager that I had at the time was extremely unfair. He would grade, I was still in workers' comp, so he would grade our claims, the files that we handled. He would grade the claims, and he would take off points for no reason. One time, I had 2 files with the same mistake. I showed him the proof that I had completed the issue correctly, and he was like, yeah, you're right, I agree, and gave me the points back. I thought, okay, I'm home free because the other file was the exact same mistake. So I should get the points for that one as well, right? Wrong. He told me he would not give me the points. And then when I asked him why, he said that it would make my score too high. How's that for fairness? Corporate America, right? Then he told me that I had the rest of the year to bring up my score. I felt totally out of control. I felt like I was trying to play a game without knowing the rules because he made the rules up along the way. Whatever worked best for him. He cheated me out of raises. He cheated me out of a bonus. He never said that I was doing anything wrong. The entire year, everything was fine. My scores, I always passed the audits, but he made sure it was barely passing. He didn't give me, and sometimes I was under the curve, so then when they all averaged out, it made me right at 90% or whatever you had to have to pass. So then at the end of the year, he graded me, and basically when you read the description, it said that I had 0 value in my files. Now, I'm a supervisor putting notes in files, telling the adjusters what they need to do on the claims to resolve them. All year long, I've passed the audits, but he still said I had 0 value. Never told me I had an issue throughout the year. And this was like my 3rd or 4th year of being a supervisor under this unfair manager. So it wasn't like I was right out of the gate, just brand new. So I took it to the vice president. So I went over his head. I said, okay, look, this is unfair. I can't take this anymore. I'm going to the vice president to review this. He would not even meet with me. He sent an email to me indicating that he had discussed the issue with the manager and that my grade would stand. This reduced my confidence even more. I felt out of control and it felt personal. Now, we had an employee at this company that everyone had supervised with no success. This person was up and down. This person would do good for a while, then this person would slack off, get tired of it, and turn in, bad files. So everyone had supervised this person without success. Then this person was supposed to be terminated, but for whatever reason, they did not terminate this person, and they decided to put them under me. Now, at that time, I was a brand new supervisor, and now my manager threatened to write me up if this team member did not improve. Now, this really sent me in a spiral. If no one else could turn this person around, what on earth made me think that I could turn this person around? This was the final straw for me. I felt like I was going to be fired, and I had no control over the outcome. I needed my salary. My family depended on me. This put my confidence at 0 or lower. I was having panic attacks daily. I had to go to therapy. I would go and sit in my car and do the techniques the therapist gave me in order to pull myself back together so that I could go back in and finish my shift. Again, I didn't want anyone to know what was happening, and I was scared to death that I was going to pass out because that's what it felt like. Heart would race, get sweaty, dizziness to the point that I couldn't walk straight. So it was very, very obvious what was happening. I had to hold onto the wall to get to my car, and it was a long walk. We had a parking deck. So it was a long walk to get to the parking deck, feeling dizzy and feeling like I was going to be sick. Now, feeling dizzy to me was my kryptonite. I feared being dizzy more than anything else. So the more I feared feeling dizzy, the more panic attacks I would have. So I got myself into a vicious cycle. I wasn't able to sleep. I wasn't eating. And the more I worried about it, again, the more panic attacks I was having. Now, I wasn't suicidal, but I definitely didn't want to live. I basically didn't care what happened to me. So I guess that may be on the verge of it, maybe. I don't know. But that's how low I was. And by the grace of God, the manager got fired. I could breathe again. I slowly started to come out of the grip that the panic attacks had on my life. And I started to improve. But I did not stop growing and learning. I continued therapy, and I read a lot of self-help books. I developed my own techniques and my own system to build my confidence and maintain it. I wanted to make sure that I could handle anything life threw at me. Bad things happen to us all. So I wanted to make sure that I was in control and strong enough to handle my future. Your confidence is like a muscle. You can't go to a gym one time and say, well, I'm fit, and never go again. You must continue to work out to stay fit, just as you need to continue to guard your confidence. Nobody can make you feel bad about yourself. That was my big mistake. I allowed my manager to take my confidence and to make me feel bad about myself. What I know now is that you are in control of how you react. That is the only thing that we really can control, and this gives me great peace. So, do you sometimes find it challenging to maintain the confidence required to succeed in such a competitive industry? My confidence building system has been specifically designed to empower women like you, helping you unleash your true potential and achieve unparalleled success. I recognize that confidence is the key ingredient in network marketing. It's that intangible force that allows you to take bold actions, approach new prospects with ease, and effortlessly close deals. I understand the struggles you face, the self-doubt, the fear of rejection, and the constant need for validation. That's why I developed a comprehensive course that will revolutionize your mindset, transform your approach, and skyrocket your confidence to new heights. Why should you use my confidence building system? It's simple, because it works. If it worked for me, it will work for you. I know the benefits of mastering the art of positive thinking, positive self-talk, to overcome limiting beliefs and embrace your unique selling proposition. My system is practical and applicable in the real world. As you develop and grow in confidence, you inspire and empower others to do the same. Imagine your team members, colleagues, and friends noticing the transformation in your life and eagerly seeking your advice and guidance. You become a trusted authority in the field, recognized for your expertise and ability to uplift others. The impact you can make is immeasurable. Don't let self-doubt hold you back any longer. Become confident, influential women you were meant to be. Your success awaits. Don't keep this invaluable information to yourself. Share it with others. Spread the word, and let's create a community of empowered women supporting each other towards greatness. Take the first step now and take my quiz to learn your confidence destroyers. Together, we will revolutionize the network marketing industry, empowering women to thrive, succeed, and inspire. Everyone who has been listening and watching today, be sure to tag me on Instagram or Facebook or your Facebook pages with all your greatest insights, wisdom, takeaways from this episode. Be sure to grab a screenshot of the episode and share it with your friends. Who do you know that would benefit from listening to this episode? Let's turn this into a conversation. I want to hear from you. It will help you grow even more. Listen to it with family and friends, then have a conversation. That is the goal, to get women talking about confidence. I hope you are leaving here today feeling more confident. Thank you for listening or watching today. I'll put a link to my quiz in the description. See you next time.